Yeah, that's terrible.
She's proper giving it to everyone. I didn't say that, I just heard it and I just... No, she's proper giving it to everyone. Fucking neck. Down there, pal.
Right, good afternoon everybody, and thank you for your patience and for assembling here today. So I'm BJ Harrington, Chief Constable of Essex, and I'm here to talk to you about events that have recently happened at the Bell Hotel in Epping. Before I do that, I just want to set out some clear issues here. Who's important to Essex Police? The communities of Epping, the communities of Essex, and the right for everybody there to go about their business lawfully and peacefully, whether that's to express a view about something we agree with or disagree with. But what it's not about is allowing people to commit crime, to commit violence, or to disrupt those communities. So that's at the heart of the Essex Police operation. Importantly, we police according to the law, as it is, not as people would want it to be. So it is clear and factual that people in this country, and it's an important element in our democratic rights, that people can assemble peacefully and lawfully to express their views, whether we agree with them or not. And that's an important point and one of the objectives for Essex Police in this matter. I want to thank the people of Epping. I want to thank the people of Essex. I also want to thank all those who have turned up to protest and express their views peacefully and lawfully, because there have been many of those. I've seen the pictures, I've read the commentaries in the newspapers that have been made to many of you about people who feel firmly about an issue that concerns them and have expressed that well, peacefully, to make their views properly known. What has been unacceptable has been the people who have come to Epping and committed violence, who have attacked people who work at the hotel, who have attacked officers, who have damaged property, and who have caused fear and disruption to the people of Epping. That is not tolerable. It will not be tolerated, and to that end we have made 10 arrests. A number of those people have been charged. A number of those people have been remanded in custody for serious offences. And my thanks go to the Crown Prosecution Service, who have assisted us in bringing those prosecutions. I also want to be clear that where people commit other crimes, and you will have noted that this issue started with a crime committed by a resident at the Bell Hotel, and where people in these residences commit crimes, we'll deal with that as well. And in that particular case, I want to stress and remind people that within 2 hours police responded. We arrested, we have charged, and we have remanded an individual for that alleged assault on a schoolgirl, and they remain awaiting trial. So we are being absolutely impartial, policing according to the law and making sure we enforce the law and try to protect communities. That is the approach that Essex Police will take. It's the approach Essex Police continues to take and will continue to take as further demonstrations, which we know are being advertised and discussed in the media for the coming week. I also want to be really clear. It is not for Essex Police to make a judgment about asylum or immigration policy. That is for government. It is for Essex Police and the police more generally to make sure that people can go about their rights and their business lawfully. Whether that's to be part of a community, the businesses of Epping, for example, the people of Essex, the school nearby, or indeed the people who are residents in that centre. It is not for me or my officers to try and make up policy or to be partial in the back of a police van. It is for us to enforce the law, to act within the law, and I think our actions and the bravery and the commitment of the officers, some of which have been injured, has shown that, and we will continue to do that. If you come here and commit crime, we will deal with that robustly. Working with our partners, we will gather the evidence and we will bring prosecutions, because that is in nobody's interest, for people to get hurt or to limit people's freedom of speech through violence. The operation is clear. You will see that through the coming weeks, and I'll ask people to respect that. So in summary, can I just say, it's about communities. It's about protecting communities, whoever they are. It's about operating within the law. It's about dealing with facts and making sure that Essex Police does the job it needs to do, which is to prevent crime, reduce crime. And I want to stress that every single officer that is on this protest that has to deal with the thugs and vandals is an officer that is not otherwise protecting a community from a sex crime or a burglary or antisocial behaviour. So please, again, my appeal to the people of Essex and particularly Epping, and anyone who comes to protest, please think about that. keep within the law, help us to do our job, and make sure everyone can express their rights, their views, safely and peacefully, because that's an important part of Essex Police. Thank you.
Chief, you should address that.
Yeah,
If you're happy to.
and I think that's a good prompt, Robin. So thank you. I mean, there's been some accusation in the media that we drove people to the protest. That is not true. We have not driven anybody to that protest. People made their own way there. And of course, one of the accusations and one of the things circulated is we did take people away for their safety, for the safety of everyone there, because it was the best operational thing to do to prevent violence, to diffuse the situation. We drove them away from a violent confrontation.
Chief Constable, what do you say?
Sorry, where are you from? Just give your name.
Sorry, Vinny O'Dowd, BBC.
Thanks, Vinny.
What do you say to a leader of a national party who's furthering misinformation about what happened last Thursday?
Well, I repeat my appeal. It's not for me to silence or to try and to say to people what they should or shouldn't say. My appeal to people, whether they're the leader of a national party or just somebody who's got a comment to make, is please consider the consequences in the real world of your actions. Is what you are saying going to cause violence or make it work for the people of Epping, for the officers, the staff members at the hotel, the residents, or indeed the local community? That's what you've got to think about. It's not for me to try and sanction or to limit what they say. Of course, where people break the law and that there is a clear breach of law, we will investigate those matters. Under the law of this country as it stands, people have the freedom to assembly and to freedom of speech.
So your officers did bring people towards that hotel?
Listen to my answer. That is there is a duty upon policing to allow people to exercise their rights of assembly and protest. That's a right of this country, under the Human Rights Act. People came to that of their own volition. They walked up to that protest in order to ensure that we understand the threat, manage and deal with the risks and the issues. As we did outside the hotel, as we did in the high street, we had officers there and they would have walked alongside to make sure that they understand, can intervene and prevent and detect crime. That's what happened, that's what the photos show, and that's what we did.
In police vans. Last Thursday there were just 6 of those police carriers here. Now there were 6 before a single protester even turned up. Lots of people here present. Penned off, fenced off area. Now that's a big of a change from the previous protests where they were just out on the street in front of the hotel. There has been a clear change in policing tactics.